show what your name is. Do you have a man who you came with?
All right, cool. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, y'all. Street Academy Podcast, where we keep one foot in the academy and one foot in the streets. And we back and we back and we back. So that kind of singing right there, right? I was gonna say.
And we no.
Generally, I'm the best singer on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jackie and Amber, but y'all know my vocalization skills be the, you know what I'm saying? But right now, I got some vocalists. We got some vocalist guests on the podcast that can outdo me today. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna just be honest. I had to get some people that's better than me in that regard. But we back, Street Academy Podcast, where we keep one foot in the academy and one foot in the streets. We have some special guests. It's been a minute. We had to take a month off, but we are back now. And this episode was initially going to be for Black Music History Month, but schedules got off and all of that. And I was like, you know what? We could celebrate Black music all the time. We can celebrate Black
History every month. Okay.
Black History every month, every day, 365, Black, 24 Black, we all Black. And we all wearing black. Yep. Because I wanted to celebrate my guests today. This couple right here, man, look, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not the guy, but I know the guy. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not the plug, but I know the plug. I know a few people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not Trey the Truth in Houston. I'm not T.I. in Atlanta. I'm not Trick in Detroit. Like, I'm not the plug, but if you say, John, I need such and such, I know a few people. You know what I'm saying? My network's pretty expansive, you know? And this particular couple, man, I've been knowing them for a very long time, probably about definitely going on towards 10 years for sure. Yeah, definitely going on towards
at least
10
9.
Years. Yeah, at least 9
That's
years.
how long you've been in Atlanta.
For sure. I've been knowing them for a very long time. First got to know them honestly as fans, right? I was a fan of them before I knew them personally.
Likewise.
That was in reverse.
Look, listen, I was like, I heard them perform together. And then later on, I started to hear them individually, but I heard them together. And I was like, okay, wherever these people are, I need to be. Whatever they got going on, I need to hear it. I would download whatever, buy whatever, come to whatever show they was doing. And between us having mutual friends, we started to collaborate, you know, and they started to appreciate my art. I continued to appreciate their art. And then from there, we just started to collaborate, you know, and, you know, me being on songs with them and then them coming on my project, for sure was a significant sound to my Afro-Lanica sound. So if you ever heard my Afro-Lanica album, Pedi's like all over it. Just, I don't even know how many tracks. I probably should have it probably should be Afro-Lanica, John and Pedi, for real, because he was just all over it, man. He was a significant contributor to that. And then I think out of that, we actually formed more of a friendship. Yeah. So now, you know, I consider them family. You know, we've shared moments together. Oh, there it is.
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
You guys saw it first. Exclusive from Akira Janai.
On Street Academy Podcast, it's an exclusive. We got the baby here. First time. First interview with the baby. Akira Janai. Akira Janai. So y'all gonna see Akira Janai. She has now made her appearance. What's up? Say something to the people. There it is right there. So we already know she's gonna be a vocalizationist as well. But yeah, we definitely, you know, shared so many great moments. They were there around the time I had my first kid. I was there around the time they had their first kid, and we just been family ever since. So without any further ado, I want y'all to show a Street Academy Podcast love to Taja and Pedi, aka House of Fly. Woo! Laugh track, clap track, clap track, clap track. So continue to download, continue to stream so that we can get more clap tracks, stuff, studio audience, all that good stuff. Anyway, we out here. How y'all doing?
We good.
That's what's up, man. I see y'all doing the family thing. The baby is here, and listen, that's what it is. When you got a kid, newborn, they got to come with you. So and this is real. I actually like that outfit.
It's her Street Academy podcast.
Yes, let's go.
Not for it here. Yeah, show it. Work it.
Street Academy podcast outfit. Yep, it says attack the boss status. Let's go. You are a boss, my sister.
She got all
that on there, man. Cool. Well, yo, I definitely want to start from the beginning with y'all, man, and just I want y'all to kind of take us back individually, really, in terms of how y'all got into music. And I guess a first question would be, give me one of your earliest significant moments, one of your earliest significant musical moments, like, let's say your first, maybe the first album you bought that kind of, made you feel like, man, maybe I could do this, or maybe the first concert you went to, or something that happened early on in your history that is a staple in terms of your musical history.
You want to go first?
You got it.
All right. So
is the mic picking up? Is good?
I
think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I got my first solo when I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know I could sing or get down until one day we used to have daily worship with my grandmother. She's who raised us, me, my brother and sister. And in worship, we were singing a song and I accidentally hit a run.
Yeah.
And I looked at everybody just to make sure that really happened. Mm-hmm. Everybody was looking at me shocked. Mm-hmm. And I did it again. And from that moment, I was like, yeah, this is one of my gifts.
Yeah.
This is definitely something that I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much mine.
Was it because you hit the run, or was it the response that you got when you hit that run? Like, oh, I can make people do this?
Well, it was just the realization that I could do it.
Oh, okay.
Did
you have other singers in your family that you was like?
Yeah, so
that you looked
pretty much
to?
A good portion of my family sings.
Okay.
I just didn't art. So aside from music, drawing first came to me. So I was really good at drawing, and I didn't realize the musical aspect. So when I did that, I hit that run and I realized I could do this too. Music was always around me. So growing up, my dad listened to Bob Marley. That was his favorite musical artist. So I grew up listening to a lot of that. When we transitioned from my parents to my grandparents, a lot of music got cut off because I grew up in an Adventist home, and it was very strict. My grandparents hymnals was it.
Yeah. At the cross, when I first saw the light, that was it.
Kirk Franklin was evil.
Yeah, Kirk Franklin was evil.
Everything except for hymnals and doo-wop music was
doo-wop?
Yeah.
Talking about Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers?
Yeah.
Why do fools fall in love?
All of that was gospel.
Yeah.
Everything else was crazy. So I had to transition from that to us having a piano in the house. And because we couldn't listen to a lot of music, that kind of sparked writing and playing. So me, my brother, and sister played piano. And from that, since we couldn't listen to a lot of music, we just sat down and we wrote a lot.
Oh.
So
and you was writing R&B or gospel or?
Yeah, it was
soul.
Yeah, it was more again, if we couldn't listen to it, so we couldn't sing it. So a lot of stuff we was coming up with like crazy doo-wop joints. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Because we played and wrote our own songs.
Yeah.
What really came to us, how we was feeling at the time.
Got you.
Which kind of really just sparked kind of like the music that we make now. It's really just our life. You know, that I only know how to write what's real and what I've been through. So, and that was all sparked from back then.
It kind of reminds me of Jamie Foxx's story, because he talks about that in his interviews. Like he was raised by his grandmother, and he was only allowed to listen to like gospel or play gospel or the music from
the little Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch. Yeah, so he could order stuff from TV. So he would take stuff from the, y'all saw the joke, the stuff from the TV and jazz it up and make it sound R&B it up or whatever for the ladies. And so it kind of sounds like that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? You know,
it is. It's super similar.
Yeah.
When you restrict it, and you only able to do certain things, you kind of make what you can do you.
Wow. Yeah. I think that's black. I think that's black folks.
That's black.
That's just what we've been doing for a long time. Like
it's genetically ingrained in us. To make something out of nothing.
Make something out of nothing. It's like it's like, all right, this is what I got. I'm gonna work with it. I'm gonna play with it, and then create something incredible. So wow. Okay. So tell me your first. Early on, if I was to be like, give me an artist that signifies Pedi growing up. Like, listen to this person or listen to this song or sets of songs or album, and this is, you kind of have a glimpse of who I was.
Sam Cooke.
Okay.
Nat King Cole.
Yeah. Y'all don't know nothing about that Nat King.
Well, the reason Nat King Cole just had one of the craziest and purest tones.
Water.
It was very warm and Sam Cooke. What I liked about Sam Cooke is that, to me, he didn't have a genre. Like. Just because he maybe was in soul or R&B at the time, he talked about spiritual things.
Right.
He wasn't stuck to like singing about, all right, I gotta make sex songs. Right. His what he talked about was why. And I think if anything, he resembled, or I resemble him a lot in
and like your content.
Content wise, I speak on political, spiritual, social, kind of things.
Gotcha.
And that stems back from from the music that I was brought up on. That came out of that era.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So switching over to Taja. So first of all, tell us where y'all from. We didn't even put that out there. So where are y'all from? Where's this music?
I'm from the exciting, big, giant city of Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo, Ohio. A lot of great talent has come out of Toledo, Ohio.
Such a big city.
Sleep.
So
Toledo
big city.
is a great city. Don't play.
And I'm from Cleveland.
Cleveland, Ohio. So Cleveland and Toledo representing Ohio. We here. Taja, talk to us. Like, give us the origin story.
Okay, so this kind of happened on accident because I didn't really identify as not as a music artist, or a musician. I was actually really shy, and I actually would tell people I'm never performing in front of anyone, ever, not doing it. I wasn't actually sure I could sing. Music's just always kind of been around me. My parents, my mom was a singer, my grandmother was a minister and singer, my dad, played trumpet, and he sang. And I had several family members, so music was just always around me. Right. It was almost required for me to, always had to go to choir, My grandma, before she would preach, even when we was 2, she's like, okay, you're gonna learn this song, So I kind of like fell into it in a way. Like I didn't really identify as an artist at first. Like but I was always singing stuff. Like I remember in preschool, there was this girl that got on my nerves, and she would always be super bratty, and she'd go, "I'm not your friend." So I actually wrote my first song at 3 years old, inspired by her, and it was called "I'm Not Your Best Friend."
Do you still remember?
Yes. It was like this.
Go?
I'm not your best friend. I'm not your best friend. I'm not your best friend. Oh, no. And I just went around singing that. You know, like I didn't connect it to, oh, you're a songwriter.
Right.
You know, it took a while. Like, and then, you know, I was always kind of like, humor was my way of coping. It's my way of being. I just like humor. So a lot of times me and my friends would take songs and make parodies. Like I would just do parodies all of my childhood. So that's a lot of my singing came from that, like parodies or making fun of things or finding humor in things. That's usually where, and then in my head, like I would hear jazz music. Like my dad would take us on vacation sometimes. And he would always play this jazz, and I'd be like, "There's no words." So I was like, "Well, since there's no words, I guess I'll make some in my head." But I was never, you know.
You know what's crazy is that's how I got started in hip hop, because I would listen and I would write down Biggie lyrics, Pun lyrics, DMX lyrics, all these Outkast. But I was like, man, I want to do this myself, but I had no way to get instrumentals. And I couldn't afford to get all the instrumentals I wanted from the store. So I would turn to the jazz station and I would record, like if I heard something in like the first 10 seconds that I liked, I would record it. You know, when you press record and play at the same time. Y'all remember you put the tape over the tape?
That's super creative.
Yeah, you put the tape over the tape, press record and play. I would record a jazz song off the jazz station, then go back. And then that's how I wrote my first raps. So mine was very similar to yours.
I never shared any of those songs. So they were just kind of to myself. Like I said, I didn't identify as an artist. So like in high school, my grandma kind of heard my voice and was like, wait, you can sing a little bit. So she started making me sing.
So this was high school?
Yeah, this was high school. And like I said, I was very shy. And in high school, I kind of decided that I wasn't going to let fear get in the way of opportunities anymore. So me and Pedi, one of our mantras is, if fear is the only thing that's holding you back, do it scared. So most of my high school,
y'all better get that down.
Has been doing it scared, you know. So I took on solos and that type. Like my grandma kind of was like, "Okay, you're gonna
before my son." That's the title of this episode. Do it scared. That's it. That's it. Okay.
That's been my entire, because I let my shyness get in the way of so many opportunities, you know, that I was like, I'm tired of, you know, I'm like, people gonna think what they gonna think anyway. Why is it that I'm holding myself back because I'm worried about them when they've already decided how they're gonna feel?
That's right.
So I might as well live my best life, right? So that's how you got the carefree, you know, no cares given Taja, y'all love no today.
Right.
So I just decided I was gonna do me. And you know, like I said, still finding my way as an artist, still like not necessarily identifying as that. I actually chose dance first. I was more of a dancer.
Okay.
So I was involved in like dance team and those type of things. And I actually came out of my shell with dance first. You know, I did praise dance. And then I realized my voice did a little something because my grandma kept making me sing. Rest in peace, Nani. I love you so much. I miss you so much. We just lost her last year.
Oh, wow. Condolences.
And she went out worshiping. It's beautiful.
Wow. Shout out to grandma, man. For sure.
So she was like, my granddaughter could sing a little bit. And it was a song called I Got My Mind Made Up.
Grandma's always say a little bit.
She's like, come on, sing Mind Made Up for Granny. And she made me sing that daggone song for every sermon, my whole 14-year-old life. And then, you know, I moved to a town, Delaware, Ohio, and I was in high school. And I had two friends that really liked to sing. One singing professionally now. One she kind of went off the grid. I really haven't seen her in a while. But one, she's still singing, you know, for a living professionally. Yeah. And they're kind of like, hey, you know, I like your voice. So they kind of invited me to do the talent show. This is the talent show with us. So, you know, we did the matching shirts, Destiny's Child.
Yeah. No.
And, So, you know, I kind of was like, okay, you know, music, whatever, you know. Still not necessarily identifying as a singer, but I've always done choir. I've always done, and then my choir teachers kind of noticed my senior year. I went to a new school, and they were like, "You should be a soloist. You should consider solos. You have a very strong, rich tone." And then they told me about a competition. So I'm in the small town of Marion, Ohio. It's small, like literally. There's one high school. So small town. And they had a competition. You know, American Idol was just at its full popularity back then. So they were raising money for Big Brothers Big Sisters at a competition called Shining Stars. So it was like our little American Idol.
Yeah.
Which was really cute. They had a red carpet for us, everything. And then the prize for us was scholarship money. And then the other money was raised to help the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization. So I was like, well, here it is. You know, I'm like, if I audition for this and I make it, that means I can sing. I'm glad I didn't get rejected, because a year before that, I had tried out. I was actually at another school. It was pretty racist, actually. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But they literally cast everyone on the talent show but me.
Wow.
Literally everyone but me. So I was very insecure with my voice. I found out later it was on some racist stuff, but we gonna go on. But yeah, so I was like, if I make this, then that means I can sing, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up not only making the audition, but I ended up being a finalist in the competition, and I was invited to just start singing everywhere.
Wow.
So I was invited to sing for like car shows, art shows. I was invited to a beauty pageant, not a pageant girl at all, but it was fun, you know. And I realized, I'm like, you know, I really enjoy performing. So that was right before college. So when I got into college, you know, I started once again, joined the choir. Teacher was like, you need to be a soloist, singing solos. And then the drummer in the choir happened to be like, yo, I love your voice. I love your style. We're trying to start a band. You want to be in my band? I'm like, hell yeah! So, you know, we started a little like rock band. It was like a rock and soul kind of collab called Soul Collective.
Let's go!
And I just kind of fell into music that way. And,
wow.
You know, I was, you know, writing my own music and that type of thing. And then I got into recording because they had a talent contest at Kent State. And I did this Chrisette Michelle song. And everybody's like, whoa, you know. So that's when I realized, I'm like, oh, maybe I could, you know, be an artist. So I started recording my own music and writing my own music. And just trying to find my sound. And it just took off from there. And I actually met him at another talent showcase that I didn't even want to.
Wait, so you were the same? Y'all went to the same college?
We did not. Like he just happened to be one of the. It was crazy. Yeah, like how we met. Like we met on accident through music, just being at a show that we barely made it to the show actually. So that's another story in itself.
Okay, I'm gonna get to that in a second because I do want to get to, all right, of course, you know, the apex, the love story, how y'all met, falling in love through music and all that. We're gonna get to all that. But before we get there, same question that I have for Pedi for you. Give me that person, that song or songs, the people, the album that kind of gives people like just a glimpse of Taja and Taja's talent.
This is gonna sound all over the damn place, okay? Because I don't have one person.
That's fine. That's cool.
I have several people, and none of them have anything to do with each other.
Hey,
so
listen, and if you know Taja, that makes perfect sense. If you know her, it makes perfect sense. Talk to the people. Tell them.
So, of course, like, one of the things is I love girl groups. Like I have a guilty pleasure for
I wouldn't have thought about that. I did not know that was.
Love girl groups. So like TLC was my favorite. Left Eye was just like, she's my person.
Yeah.
I feel like I am Left Eye and Left Eye is
me.
The more
Let's
I know
go.
about
Lisa
her,
Lopez.
the more I'm like,
R.I.P. Wow. Yeah.
TLC was my absolute favorite growing up. I loved Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
I loved Spice Girls. Huge fan. Like had their everything. Know all this. I still know all their choreography.
Yeah.
Like loved girl groups, you know. But I also really loved I love rock and roll. Like I love the sound of the guitar. I love Michael Jackson a lot because he just had such diverse sound and fun. Like, you know, Madonna, he was a Madonna fan. Because they were just like, they were fun and they, you know, were talented and their music just encompassed a bunch of different, you know.
You said Spice Girls?
I love Spice Girls. Yeah, their music, their lyrics is very simplistic. Right. But I was 9, so what more did I need to sing about? You know, you wanna be my lover? That's good enough for me at 9. Like, I'm like, yeah, I gotta get with my friends.
Except for that one friend that you was like, y'all, we ain't friends no more. From the first song, right? Nah, we ain't messing with her.
But before you had to get with her.
Before we stop being friends.
Before we stop. I'm not your best friend. Shout out to, I think her name was Brittany. Shout out to you, Brittany. I hope you're doing okay.
I hope you're doing okay, but you see she done leveled up. She don't need you no more, Brittany.
Yeah.
You hear that? Go download the album and you gotta pay for that and the live show.
I would love to see her now. I don't even know if we realize it.
Y'all might be cool now.
Shout out to Brittany at Apple Tree Daycare. Wherever you at. You inspire me.
So, you talked a little bit about your individual experiences in terms of music and art. How did this collaboration come together? How did y'all meet? How did your artistry come together? Like similar to me and you all, were y'all fans of each other first, or did y'all see each other and was like, oh, she cute, oh, he cute, and then y'all went out on dates and then found out y'all did music? Like, how did this come together?
We love telling this story.
Oh, work. Oh, it's gonna get gushy in this moment. It's gonna get gushy. Yeah.
Music is really what brought us together, and then music is what, you know, molding us as well. Like it kind of music is what made us happen.
Yeah.
We were birthed from music, and music was birthed from us.
So she saw me first.
Okay.
I was doing my sound check, and it was
artists go to sound check. You see what happened?
Yeah.
You make your sound
and
check.
It was
I was late for sound check. So if you're trying to find your husband, you can be like 5 minutes late, because when you walk in, you'll see him doing the sound check.
Yeah. So
I had a good reason to be late though. I'll get some.
And her being late kind of helped me out too.
Okay.
So let me set it up. So I'm on stage. I got the lights beaming down on me.
Yeah.
You know, I had the fresh cut and everything. Timing was
everything.
Like
I'm doing right now.
Soon as I was on stage, she comes in and she sees me up there just glowed up, and she's telling a friend of mine who was also in the talent show that I'm her future husband or something like that. When she tells her side, she'll
I'll give it to her.
You know, so I'm doing my thing on the piano, and the crazy thing is, I wasn't set up to win. They had like this is a college. So they had this janky little,
made me see something so different.
Casio, like that first keyboard that your parents get you.
I didn't even know
they had that. So I'm in there, no foot pedal, nothing.
Wow,
I'm making it work.
Let's be clear, the whole setup was not. It was not a professional.
So I'm in there making.
And this was something just in the city. This wasn't a college.
No, this is
college.
College. I didn't go to this school.
Okay.
So
you didn't even go here. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go see the Mean Girls.
It was like 30, 35 minutes out from where I stayed.
Okay.
How I even was there was a friend of mine had a friend that went to that school, and I was in a small choir or something like that, like a small little group, and they were supposed to go there. And I guess like right before they found out that it was a competition, and they was like, oh, we're not about to do no competition.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, we kind of told this dude that we was gonna do it. And I was like, you know what? I'll just go in y'all place. So I get there, and I was just thinking that I was just about to do this thing and go. Yeah. You know, my friend had stuck his neck out there, and I was like, well, I'm not about to let him get his head chopped off or, break a relationship. So it's one of the best decisions I ever made because
that's how you feel.
Yeah,
oh my God. So I actually was not gonna go. I was not gonna go to the show. So I found out about the show on accident. My friend Caleb, shout out to Caleb. He was like, let's try for this gospel show right fast. I was like, but I'm not really, I never had the desire to be a gospel artist. Because I just know that they come with a lot of scrutiny and judgment if you don't meet this exact criteria of gospel art. I didn't want to be limited to that. Even though I wanted my music to always exemplify my lifestyle, I never wanted to be called a gospel artist.
Even though you grew up singing in church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was just like, I don't want to be a gospel artist because I don't want to be scrutinized if I happen to sing a love song one time.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And it was, sometimes that world can be really harsh. Which brings me to like, I was going through a really like crazy time. I had just gotten into a really bad car wreck. Like my car got totaled by a semi truck. And I was just glad to be alive. I was so shook up that I didn't want to go nowhere. I wanted to sit in the house, watch movies. I had just written a new song, and it was the first song that I wrote that was intentionally like, it was about God. I don't know if it was a kind of a neo soul kind of song. And it was called Spiritual Journey. And I got the confidence to sing this new song. And I wasn't going to go because, I just didn't have the desire to be around people that day. But God was like, yo, Taj, you just wrote this song. You better pick up your guitar and go to that show. And so I had somebody give me a ride. Shout out to Gabby.
All these people. Gabby,
it was so many people who like got to, to give me a ride to where I needed to go. And I just happened to walk in and something overcame my spirit, like this joy just overcame me. And then I kind of like, I saw him warming up.
Talk about it.
And like,
speak on it, myself.
The minute I got backstage, I have this like ritual where I always like, I dress bummy before a show. Like I don't do it anymore, but I used to not reveal the outfit that I was going to wear until it was time to sing.
Oh, okay.
Because it relaxed me. Like I would just wear like sweats. I had like a sweatpants with a stain on it. Like it was just real chill, tar straps in my back, walk backstage. And I saw this classic looking dude. He kind of reminded me of 17 again, like the black version, not like the Zac Efron stolen. The black version with Tia and Tamara. Yeah, he kind of reminded me of like when the grandpa turned young. And how fine he was. But yeah, so I was like, it was like love at first sight. And I was like, God, I don't know what it is about this man. Like it was like our souls connected. We hadn't even spoken yet. I was like, but I said this literal prayer, y'all. Like, I ain't lying. Like, pray for what you want, guys, because it works out. I was like, dear God, if this is not my husband, please send me an exact carbon copy. In Jesus' name, amen.
Forget Sierra's prayer. We got to pray Taja's prayer. You understand what I'm saying?
Because I'm like, I don't even know what made me want him. Like we had not started talking yet. Like, and we were the only two that did original. Well, no, it was a couple of other people who did original songs, but we just instantly connected. He reached out to shake my hand. I gave him a hug because that's what I do. I'm friendly. I actually wasn't flirting at the time, but I just like, it was something in me that was like, that man's my husband. It was love at first sight. Somebody even told me he had a girlfriend and I didn't care. And that is not my character. I was like,
go for what you
it's
want.
like, he got a girlfriend, right? I was like, anyway, I'm about to go hear my husband sing real quick. And I wasn't the only one looking. Like other girls was looking too.
For sure.
At him.
True.
It was like, oh, look at him. He sound like. Wait, and we all
ad libs. I don't know if y'all hearing them, but the ad libs is killing me right now.
It's killing me.
This is great. Go ahead, Taja.
And we were all making jokes about him because they put his name on as Ron Evans, and it rhymed with John Legend, so we said that's John Legend cousin. But like I was like, so we met. I go and watch the other artists after I'm done performing. But instead, we just spent the entire time backstage talking.
Who you with?
Yes.
Wow.
And just connecting. Like, oh, I do music. Want to hear my music? So we exchanged numbers so that we could work on music together. That's why we exchanged numbers. We knew we both would work, but we did, but it was an excuse to give each other. our number.
Yep.
And I didn't know what was gonna be coming. It's because artists connect at shows all the time. Like, yeah, we're gonna meet up. And they never do. You know how that goes.
Right.
So I didn't know if it was gonna be one of those times. But we ended up, he called me.
I was gonna say, so who was the first?
I called him first, but he was at church, I think. And then he called me back and asked for Taja.
Wait a minute.
Well,
you didn't know
but it's okay because he was in my phone as the John Legend guy.
So you didn't know his
I know his name.
You know what? No, that's artists though. Artists will talk for hours and hours and hours.
What's your name again?
What's your name again? Because that's not even the most.
At least he was close. I had him in my phone as the John Legend guy.
So it's Taja. So that could be a hard A or a soft A.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just shot my shot. I threw it out. And
hey, what up, Taja?
I didn't care. I was happy he called. And I actually,
some of the sisters would have been like, he ain't even remember my number. I would have talked to him. You missed out on your husband.
I didn't care.
It's like that ain't even matter. This is a good guy. He just,
He a real one.
He a real one. You know what I'm saying? So
we talked for 8 hours on the phone. 8 hours, 8 literal hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
And normally a conversation that long things normally go left, but it never did. It was just this deep spiritual connection that we had. And so I was just like, you know what? If we never talk again, I just thank you for this one conversation. I was like, thank you for letting me know
wait a minute. Now,
that someone gets me.
That's hard.
And he was like, oh, we'll be talking again.
That's a word. Yeah. I'm good. I don't know, man. Ooh, that's a word. If we never talk, look, you might need to write that down for a song. Put that in the.
That's a good idea. If we never talk again, thank you for this conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And how old was you at the time?
I'm gonna write this now. Thank you.
What was you?
I was 21. Yeah.
21. How old were you?
I was
just turned
20. What am I? 3.5 years older than you.
So like 24.
24.
Yeah. Wow. Ooh, that's a word. That is a word. Okay, so y'all seeing each other, y'all connect. Well, actually, you connect physically because you saw him and you thought he was cute, and you was like, "Oh, okay."
It wasn't even just that because there was other cute people there.
It just his aura.
But
it was a spiritual connection.
The levels was different. Let's talk about it.
It was like my soul connected to his soul, and I know that sounds like I'm trying to be too deep, but that's really what it was. Like it was really love at first sight for me, and I've never experienced that before. Like it was crazy.
And vice versa.
We broke all the rules. I said I love you in a week. We kissed on the first date. Like,
yeah, you like
when so
everything not
previous to that day, I was listening heavily to like Lauryn Hill, who is actually my favorite artist.
Out of all
of them. Just as
artist of all time. Okay.
Just braveness.
Yes.
And just
yes.
Just truly being herself is like
oh man, fearless, courageous.
I made a promise to myself that any music that I put out, I wanted to affect people like how her albums, particularly the Unplugged album, affected how it touched me. I want that same energy in exchange through music. Yeah. So I was listening heavily to her, and before Taja, I guess my type was very polished, clean, model type. After Lauryn Hill kind of liberated me from that and got me into the froze and all type of stuff like that, I was like, you know what?
I want me one of these.
Look, as soon as she walked in, she had the fro.
Yeah.
She had the see, girls don't understand the power of sweats.
Come on now, listen.
It don't matter. Look, it don't matter.
But if you know how to
look, and she had that. She had that.
How to wear those? They just was throwing.
Yeah, she had that thing out there,
right?
And I was just
like a beautiful woman. Like I mean, it's you could dress up in the fly sundress, this and that, the Balenciagas, all that, and be. But if you could look good in some sweat,
these were Walmart sweatpants and the bleach stain on.
And you know, no, I wouldn't even.
I think it was a paint stain on it. because I was painting with the kids.
But if it's something about you in that, oh man, bro,
I must have been real pretty.
The aura was on point. Yeah,
just
so
connecting.
When I saw her, I was like, she gave me that vibe. So you can appreciate this. You know, the chick that's always on the Outkast albums,
Peaches.
She reminded me of her.
Really?
I'm getting names thrown around like Lauryn Hill and Peaches. I feel all good about
so when I was telling my cousin about her, the only thing that I could like really like convey to him, like, man, the chick from Outkast, she give me that energy. I was like, she was very earthy, and I was just like, man, I'm a person. I go after what I want.
And what year is this to kind of give
what year was what I'm bad with time.
Because it's like
when we met?
When
this was 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
Oh man. That's a good year. That's a good year in terms of like, well, that's interesting because the sound in music around 2009 is like, we're coming out of the T-Pain era. We're going into the Drake era. This is the height of Lil Wayne. This is, and so the soul music is not really as popular at this time. Well, until you get to maybe like your Robert Glasper era, like that whole time. You got Robert Glasper, you got King, you got all them coming out late 2000s, early 2010s. So
again, I was never heavy in like super the trend of the music. Again, from living with my grandmother, I was already like, and I had to like finagle like people like Music, Soul Child, like, see, he talking about love, grandma.
And it's crazy because like not only like the church was also looking at us a little funny at first because our music was very, at the time, very different,
So okay, y'all get together, all right, y'all meet, y'all link up, y'all say, you know what, this is who I want to be with, this is the man, John Legend and Taja. Okay, cool. So right, here it is, y'all meet, y'all date. How long before y'all decide, you know what, this is my lifetime partner?
We just kind of never stopped talking to each other after that day.
Okay. So then what? Like, so after that, maybe like a year or two, y'all decided to get married, or?
So we got married.
We got married in 2012.
2012. So we were together for 3 years.
For about 3 years.
2.5 years before we actually like said I do, but we kind of already knew.
Okay.
Cause like, did we even actually do a real like? He never asked me to be his girlfriend, and he never asked me to marry him. We just
one day was just at an altar, and
we were literally driving to a rehearsal, and we was like, you know what? I mean, what's stopping us at this point? I mean, we're ready. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. What's some good weekends?
Well, what's good for you? Because I know this weekend I'm supposed to be cutting the yard.
But we should do a long weekend, so everybody has like that extra day.
It just gotta happen.
Yeah,
that's so dope.
It was
amazing.
It was such a flow. The whole relationship. It felt so effortless.
Yeah.
And even still, it feels very effortless.
Ended up together, like even like telling people like he was my boyfriend, or I was, we were at a family event of yours, and he was like, "This is my girlfriend." Taja is like,
she ain't say no, so
I was like, it's been me and you for about 6 months or whatever the time frame was. I ain't been talking to nobody else. Here we go.
Man, I love to see it. So y'all dating. It's coming into y'all say, you know what? We on our way to the store, but let's get married first. Okay, cool. So y'all go, y'all get married. And now y'all are starting this family. What makes you, because now I'm thinking to myself as I'm seeing y'all, I'm like Peaches and Herb, Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. You know what I'm saying?
Rick
But
James and
Rick James and Tina Marie. That was toxic.
She got some good music.
She got some good music out of it, but that was toxic as hell.
Ike Tina, you know.
Yeah, true.
It ain't no Ike Tina going on over here. They made hits, but it ain't no hits. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes in the studio, he get a little tough.
But like, it's a, you know, we don't have that version of that now. We don't have the hip hop or the soul or neo soul or trap version of what that was. So talk to me about you all's connection in terms of being a couple and artists. You have albums out, you performed with each other for so long, you've recorded with each other. What is that dynamic like, and how do you maintain your art? Because as an artist, you got to be unique. You know, you're creative, you have these ideas. I know sometimes I can be very you know, controlling of my art and what I create, and I want it to sound like this and I want it to be like this, and so as an artist, how do you do that with your art? How do you create with each other but still also maintain your relationship? How do y'all balance that?
Well, so when we first did this, or when we first met, our intentions was never really like a group thing.
So when y'all got married, y'all never said y'all wanted to be in a group?
I was in a totally different group. Okay. I was in a group of 8 guys called Square. And we had a painter, we had 2 rappers. It was me and another guy was singers, and then we had a band. And after a while, I being on the road with dudes, these are my brothers to this day. Just being on the road with guys, different guys are at different places. Right. You know, I was like the first dude out of the group. When I met them, I was already in a committed relationship. Right. So imagine we going and doing a college show, and this chick's like trying to get into our room. You know, and I'm the guy like, nah, you know, I'm cool. And the other guy's like, man, come on, bro. I'm like, nah, you know, I'm happy with, you know, my situation.
I mean, look at
I'm kidding. I'm just saying, and don't they look beautiful? If y'all listening to this on Spotify, you need to go to the YouTube and go ahead so y'all can see what it is. A beautiful couple made a beautiful child. It's just a beautiful situation, and they made beautiful music. We're gonna talk about that in a second too.
Yeah, so it got to a point to where everybody had started kind of making their own different moves. Right. We had did a play, which was an utter disaster. But
you're talking about?
But it's the thing that kind of made us kind of so we was like, all right.
You and the guys did a play.
No, me and Taja.
Oh, you and Taja did.
Well, there was one play that was decent, and then there was another one that was like, why are we?
No, that play was good, but that was after.
Oh yeah.
That was after. Other play. Yeah. So we was like, all right, let's kind of come together and do this play. Right. So we did that. So we don't put those heavy restrictions on ourselves. So Taja may have an idea for a song, and I flow with it.
So we just kind of support each other's music?
Whatever it needs. She may be like, I already got 2 verses, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll just come behind you and add flavor. Right. Or I may be like, Taja, I got a verse. You put a verse, you know? So like point example,
for Beautiful
Dreamers.
Like, I decided I wanted to try rapping. Like that was like, I wanted to try it.
And she killed it. It was perfect.
But okay, but watch this though. What if she says, you know what, I want to try rapping, and you're like, all right, boo, go ahead. And Beautiful Dreamers, this the song you want, this the song you want for your album, whatever. And she tries it, And so you like, all right, cool. And then you go back and listen to it and you like, man, I ain't really feeling this.
Oh, he'll tell me.
Oh, I'm honest.
He'll just tell me. He'll tell me right in the.
Really?
He'll tell me in the middle of my verse. I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
He's not gonna.
Because I'm gonna protect it.
Very particular.
Got you. Like, I don't want you to put this
even
out
if he's not.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Even if he's not on the song, like if it's my song and notes aren't right, he's gonna tell me.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta kick me out of the studio.
Yeah, there's times I have to kick him. I'm like, bro, let me create. I get it. Right?
See, I'm a stickler for
So,
notes. I'm like, no, this gotta be here. You know,
and she's more like, just let it breathe. Yeah, just give it the feeling. Yeah.
Sometimes I just
like, let me figure it out.
Right.
And it's a lot of trial and error. When you have two personalities working together, you have two different personalities working together, there's always going to be, clashing. But it's learning how to work with another person. And sometimes it flows, sometimes it takes communication, sometimes you just audio at each other because that's what it is working with other people. Right. It's like any other partnership. And then there's times where like we wrote the song High. What is it, baby?
What's up?
What is it?
I got something to say. Let me tell you when I started music.
So, at the time when we wrote High, like, we were just sitting in a living room and we just came up with a song together. Like, so, it happens in different ways. And a lot of times it's literally just one of us coming up with a concept and the other person supporting it, or literally both of us flowing with the same concept. And the crazy thing is the songs that we write parallel each other. Like every song that I have or he has, like there's a parallel version. There's a girl version or a Taja unique version. Right. Probably a girl version. There's a Taja unique version to every Pedi song.
Got you.
So the Beautiful Dreamers album is really just songs that we there's songs that I led, that I wrote, and there's songs that he wrote, there's songs that we help each other write. Like, so it's literally, what flows at the moment.
Yeah, so we don't have a set order to how we do things. So it's not like, oh, this is how the group is on every song. No, sometimes I'm just in the background. Yeah. Sometimes she is just in the background. Sometimes she rap. Sometimes I may rap. It just depends on how we feel in the moment with the song. So, and I think that's what helps us. Also that we're shooting for the same direction. So I don't have to, it's not like I'm not with a person who isn't going in the same trajectory as far as thought. We flow like that.
So you all talking about recording. I want to shift a little bit to live performance.
Okay.
How do you balance, or I imagine your love relationship, your romantic relationship, your family relationship carries out in your performance? How is it reflected in that?
I think it's the same concept. Like we kind of, we just support each other in whatever the show. So both of us, we are on the same page. So we pray before every set, just to make sure we're on one accord, that we're on one accord with God. Because, really, we both agree that before we want it to sound good and look good. Don't get it twisted, because that's groups. But we want to make sure that the main purpose is that people are touched. So we have different songs that we have, like we'll actually be talking like, this feels like a Beautiful Dreamers audience. Oh, okay. Or, this feels like a So in Love audience. Like we'll read the audience, like what's an Alice crowd, and we'll kind of feel like, okay, this crowd needs this. Gotcha. And we'll agree on that, and that's the set that we'll do. Gotcha. And like I said, trial and error, because there's concerts where we didn't agree on what the set should be. So we kind of had to learn how to trust each other in that instinct. So it was, there was that adjustment period in the beginning, trying to figure out what to do. But it wasn't, after a while, we're like, okay, we agreed that we'll give the crowd what they need. Gotcha. We'll match the audience. We'll match what they, we cook what they need to eat for dinner.
And going back to what she was talking about, trust. I trust, even when Taja was like, oh, I want to rap on this, and she don't really rap. Yeah. I trusted Taja's skill set.
Got you.
And a lot of times she trusts my connection because a lot of the shows she gives me that opportunity or that position to lead. You know, she doesn't contradict.
Because she could hold her show herself.
Yeah. She doesn't try to. There isn't an ego there in the sense to where we're battling like, you know, we both recognize that we're both great artists in our own right, and we respect each other.
And going back to that rap verse, like I did it in the car ride. We were driving to Ohio or something, and I was like, "Can I rap it for you first and see if you like it?"
Yeah.
So before we even touch the studio, do you like this verse?
Do you like it? Because if you don't like it,
if you don't like it, we ain't gonna do it.
Right.
Because that verse was actually going to be a part of another song. Like I actually was going to write a whole other song, and it would have just been its own song if he didn't think it fit "Beautiful Dreamers." But when I started hearing the lyrics of "Beautiful Dreamers," I'm like, wait,
this might fit.
This actually fits your song. I don't need to finish this. I just need to put this verse in this song if you like it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if he had said no, like I'm like okay, but I would have respected his decision because there are certain songs that we view as. Like we have our group, but there are certain songs that are his babies, and there are certain songs that are my babies.
Gotcha.
And so we give each other that respect, you know. And then there are certain songs that we both share. So we have his songs, my songs, and shared songs. Gotcha. So we have categories. So I think that because we have those categories, we have things that feel like ours, and we also it's kind of like when you have that separate account, you have that joint account.
Listen. I am a proponent.
We do that with our songs.
Have your joint account, but then have your little side situation going on.
You know. And it's, you know, we kind of do that with our songs. So I think because we have those songs that we feel belong to us individually, when we go to those collaborative songs, it doesn't feel like as much of a power struggle because we have, you know, that balance.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. So, okay, so tell me something. Give me the either the biggest or maybe the most, I guess, the argument or the conflict in terms of music that or your artistry that you all have ever had that also you overcame to help make y'all better as artists and as a couple. What's that one situation where it's like, oh, I remember when this happened.
I keep thinking of a funny story. Remember when we was recording Run to Me? And we was fighting over whether or not I wanted to use that damn trash bag. So I was trying to simulate running through, running through the grass. Okay. So I had this trash bag and I was like, and Peter's like, this is stupid. We're not gonna do this. I was like, I want to do my damn trash bag.
It is not translating.
It is not translating right.
I'm listening to it right now. It don't sound like
nah, bro.
It actually ended up working. We ended up finding a way for it to work. But
okay.
Like
it sounded like you walking on a trash bag.
But he didn't. I was like, just trust me. But at first he wasn't. He was sitting. This is a trash bag.
And you like, get out,
I'm thinking in my creative mind. He's thinking in his like, this is a trash bag. I see the trash bag. I hear it's a trash bag. I was like, get out. I was like, get out now. Get out.
Yeah.
He was like, boy, I won't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Get out. No, but.
But it ended up being.
It ended up working. But it was one of the like.
Now that she said that, when y'all hear the song,
it's like. You do sound like Brad.
Let's see who.
Okay, right. So go when you listen to Run to Me. Now that you know, are you guys hearing a trash bag?
Okay, so
or grass?
Is Run to Me
comment below?
Yeah,
yes.
It's on the Beautiful Dreamer Project.
Look up House of Fly Run to Me, and you guys vote.
Yeah, House of Fly Run to Me. Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments YouTube, if you hear a trash bag or it sounds like grass.
Yes. Okay.
We won't be mad. We promise. Like we're not gonna take it personal. It's funny to us now.
It's not gonna lead into no marital dispute.
We're not gonna divorce. We promise.
You know what I'm saying? All it is they just want to figure out who got the better ear. No, I love it, man. I love it.
But so a lot of times it's just stupid stuff, like creative process stuff that's just stupid. Like it's not real.
And you gotta give people room to show you. You know, a lot of times. So, and I understand this as just from my visual artist side. Like if I had a group of people standing behind me, and this happened growing up, and I'm drawing something, not everybody sees the vision. So you have to give people time to show it to you. You know, so I may be drawing something and the person like, man, what is that? And I'm like, sit back, just wait. You know, and being in the studio, it's the same thing. I'm not inside of her head. You know, I don't hear exactly what she hears. So I have to trust the process. You know, I have to allow her to.
That's a word. Trust the process.
I have to. If I trust that she's a good artist, I have to trust that what she's hearing inside of her head is going to actually be amazing. Even though I may not see it at the moment. You know, and it's the same thing. You know, some people just have forward thinking, and people just catch up to it.
Ooh, Prince. 3 stacks. You know what I'm saying?
I just appreciate in spite of him not agreeing with me and me having to figure out that he still allowed me to do it. Like he still he wasn't like cut it, he didn't like I put my foot down, he still let me try it. Like, well, I mean, this is your song.
Right. Oh, it's so what I'm starting to see now is there's so many ways in which if you can approach it right, a relationship, like a romantic relationship and an artist relationship overlap in so many ways. How do those inform each other? Like what are ways in which you've learned from your artistic relationship that you can take into your romantic relationship? And what are some things that you've learned as a couple, as a husband and wife, that you can say, oh, I can apply that to, when we work together, or maybe even when I'm working with other artists?
Yeah, so it's just really listening. You have to take the time to listen to each other.
That's it.
And you have to be humble enough to know that not everything that you think is right. There's shows to where I was like, all right, this is the set. And they're like, nah, this or she'll say, nah, I think this song should go. And I'm like, all right, let's just do it. And because I wasn't in this arbitrary, I'm the leader type situation, it was actually what needed to be, what we needed to perform for that crowd.
But I think part of being a good leader is knowing when to listen to your team.
That's it.
Leadership isn't always calling the shots. It's not, like people say there's a difference between being a boss and a leader.
That's it.
No, that's real talk.
And I think that just over time in our marriage, he has created such a great balance. Like, me, I'm old fashioned. I know some of y'all I'm number one. Y'all can have that. I like my husband to lead me. That's where I'm at. So if y'all don't like your husband to lead y'all in your marriage, that's y'all. Like, I'm not, looking down on every marriage. Every relationship has their own rules. And y'all do what work for y'all. But as for House of Fly,
this is what works.
This is how it works for House of Fly.
Listen, and it looks good. It is creating beautiful, children, talented children. I know Akira's gonna be incredibly talented when she gets older. Tell me how parenting, how has that changed you all's dynamic as artists? Obviously, parenting, and you could even talk about even as a couple, but particularly as artists, how has being a father, how has being a mother contributed to your artistry?
It's made us better collaborators.
Talk about it.
We realized how dope of a team we are when we had her.
Yeah. So knowing when to pick up the slack without her even having to tell them. You know, I'm seeing Taja is in school right now. So because of my skill set, I'm able to work for myself from home. So daytime, I'm with her. It's daddy daycare. You know, I'm working with her. And when she gets home, I pass her off, straight pass play, you know, or sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes Taja got homework, trying to finish up school. I'll stay with her longer, you know, and I'll kind of do my work when she finishes up. But I think how to work with each other has been elevated. Yeah. Because of us having a kid. You know.
I'm even seeing it now, like even how y'all just picking up the baby, still answering questions. Boom. If Akira all in your face, and then Pedi will get her and then hold her, and then you'll answer the question and pass it back. So I'm even seeing it right now. Y'all probably even doing it on purpose, but it's just a natural flow, man. That's fluid. It's fluid. It's just fluid. I love it, man. So I guess as we wrap up the episode, what do you foresee in terms of, you know, I don't even want to go there because we'll do that when we go into like actual places they can find y'all and all of that. I guess if you were to talk to people, particularly artists that are starting to form a romantic relationship, we see it all the time, right? We see it with, like, you might have artists who start dating each other and all of that and then break up or whatever. How would you say a person might approach, because when we think about creatively, right? Like actors and actresses when they play on TV shows and they end up dating, because when you're an artist, you're vulnerable. You're in a vulnerable state at that time, you know, very passionate, very moving. And so it's natural for that to flow into with somebody else, right? And so that's why we often see musicians or, you know, artists or, you know, actors or actresses or whatever dating each other, but then it doesn't really last. So like I said, you don't see a Peaches and Herb, you know, much. You don't see, you know, these couples, artists together. And it's interesting. Well, I guess that's kind of different. I was going to go into a sports analogy, but that's kind of different. But I guess what are some of the things that you would suggest in terms of being able to balance romance, marriage, family with artistry so that we could see that more? Because I think there's so much beauty that comes out of people who, like a Kindred in the Family Soul. I miss them. They were so good. And I thought it was something so unique and special about their music. And I think it came from the fact that they were a family. So what are, I guess, some suggestions or some things you think would be dope to kind of put out there to people in terms of how to maintain that?
First of all, I'm gonna say give each other room to be human. Like, I mean, you are going to mess up sometimes. You are going to, you know, a lot of it is trial and error and figuring out how to mesh personalities. It's really, you know, I think as we figured out our marriage, we figured out our music relationship, because both of those things go hand in hand, you know, communicating, getting on one accord, giving each other room to even mess up a little. Like, I mean, I'm gonna say the wrong things sometimes. He's gonna say the wrong things or do the wrong things sometimes. And we have to be okay with the fact that we're both learning each other. And that's gonna be a little awkward sometimes, you know? So just, you know, finding that balance. Give yourself room for the trial and error. Try different things. Don't be stuck in your ways, you know, because you're going to find different things. You're going to find that there's ways that you can work things out that you never would have thought of before if you didn't keep an open mind. So, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. Don't go skin a cat. That's me. But, you know.
But for me, I think in order for artist relationships to work, is y'all have to kill the ego.
Mm.
That's the thing that kills
Ego.
groups. That's the things that kills all the groups.
Ooh.
You know, if you could respect and honor everybody as being everybody and seeing what they offer to this thing.
Right.
You know, Taja offers something that I can't give, a feminine perspective.
Yeah.
She could talk to women a way that I could never. And I could write songs directed toward women, but she has an intimate experience that I just don't have.
Right.
And if I could, most of the time, and how the industry and how just society pushes it, it's always a competition. Right. And if you could come to the realization that we're not at war with each other.
You're on the same team.
We're the same team.
We're on the same
We're
team.
against
another mantra in our marriage. Remember?
You know, war is for outside. Yeah. It's not for within. That's it. My goal isn't to defeat you. My goal is to elevate you and push you to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. When you have conflict, it's not you and against me. It's you and me against the problem.
And then most of the time, the conflicts are because of lack of understanding or proper communication,
listening.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, because that's a huge part of communication. Most people think that it's just, you know, you talking. You know, part of it is I think the most valuable part of it is taking the time to listen
and understand.
Yeah, gain perspective. Okay, this is where this is what she's actually saying versus what I think she's saying. You know,
what I feel.
Yeah. And when you can X that out of the situation, I think that helps out the relationships, helps out the group, helps you bring out the best version of what you're trying to do. Yeah. The goal of why you're all together. Yeah. Romantically and while y'all doing music together.
And one of the things I love that Taja said, and then you kind of talked about earlier, or it was just like a one word or 3 words. Taja said earlier, the way we got together it was just so effortless. And you said, and it still is. 4 words. And I was like, oh, like that hit me. It's even in the relationship, even with the artistry and the art that you create. And when you all will listen to it, you can tell this is just natural talent. Although they've worked hard to be as successful as they are and to be as talented as they are, it's not going to come off like that. And the fact that your relationship is like that as well, it's not that you all don't put work into it. Clearly, you got to put work into your relationship, but it doesn't feel like burdensome work. It just feels like work that you need to do to keep continuing to be happy with each other and continuing to being on one accord. And it's work, but it's effortless work. You know what I'm saying? And
it's work that you want to do.
It's work that you want to do.
Yeah, so I look at it like this. I think that's everyone in life. The goal should be working at what you're passionate about versus what makes money. Because a lot of times, what makes you money, case in point, you got a lot of people who are doctors who don't love people. You know, you're not working in your passion. You only took that position because it made, a certain amount of money.
And now I got sewn up wrong in my surgery because you didn't want to be here. Like,
so I think focusing on what you're passionate about. So I'm passionate about us in our relationship. So I'm going to put that before everything, even before how what I think should. I care about how she's feeling in the moment. And pass it over to you. Yeah. So yeah,
man. Yeah, this is I'm so appreciative of you all taking the time to talk about your relationship, to talk about your art, to talk about the music that you all have done, but then also talk about this kind of seamless way in which it all kind of comes together into this beautiful display of what God has allowed to happen, this beautiful display of family and music and creativity, which I think is both, you know, a cultural as well as you know, a spiritual principle. You know what I'm saying? Cultural principle, Kuumba creativity, and spiritual principle in terms of the fact that God said, you know, we are his you know, he created his handiwork. You know what I mean? And that's creating. So when you all are creating, you know, music, and you're creating art, and you're creating, you know, you're drawing and painting and doing all these different things, and then to create this ultimate creation of Akira Janai, do you all have any plans for her in terms of music and in terms of artistry, or are y'all just going?
So I believe that kids should be themselves.
Okay.
We're definitely going to introduce music to her.
Okay.
She's going to be around it. You know, I definitely want to put her in piano and like just have her learn those skills. And if the passion takes off, great. But if we discover that she's into something else, you know, I want to nurture who she is, not who I am. You know, I don't want to live my life through her. I want her to be who she is.
Got you.
And I believe she'll tell us.
She already tried to sing with us, though.
She's
trying to get in the interview. That's what she's trying to.
Naturally, if you look at your child, the child is going to kind of tell you like, all right, this is what I like. And I think as a parent, it's our goal to nurture them through that.
Yeah.
You know, all right, you in the music. All right, how can I help? Instead of like for me, well, I'm not even gonna say this for me. There could be people who their child is in music and love music, and they're like, well, I don't want you to be in music.
Right.
Okay. You know, so I think the goal is to allow that child to kind of already give you the breadcrumbs, and from there you just nurture it.
All right, y'all. Well, listen, it's been another episode, Street Academy Podcast, man. We have talked to the Fly family, Taja and Pedi, who are just incredible artists. And before they go, I definitely want them to talk a little bit about what they got going. Y'all just got a single that dropped, right? Called Levitate?
No, that's my brother's.
Oh, okay, that's your brother's.
Yeah,
okay,
that's my brother's.
Got you.
I did the artwork for.
Okay, did the artwork
for his single. So we have a project that we will be releasing called "Sorry for the Wait."
Okay. Sorry for the wait. I'm already excited. For those hip hop heads, you already know why we excited. Got you.
So it's just we've been away from the scene for multiple different reasons. Her grandmother passed away, my grandfather passed away. Corona, you know, all the waves of that. You know, so we've taken the time to, and then there's songs like I have songs like Superman, Gravity, and people who know Pedi McFly, the I guess my first form. They when I was at UT in Toledo playing, these are songs that I wrote from back then that I found myself kind of circling back to that place of where I wrote those songs from. And I finally got to the point to where I was able to create the best versions of those songs.
Gotcha.
So we got it. She has a song called 2020 that we'll be releasing pretty soon. So if you watch us on Instagram or Facebook, we'll release snippets of those, and we'll soon be releasing the release date for the Sorry for the Wait.
Okay. So where what's your Instagram handle, your website, all of that, where they can find all of this incredible music?
So Instagram, it is House Supply Music. No, it's House of Fly, right?
House of Fly on Instagram.
Yeah, that's the same on Facebook. Our website, I'm finishing up that right now, which is houseofFlymusic.com. I'm lightweight kind of salty because I had houseofFly.com and forgot to re-up on the
the thing. I got you. Yeah.
Somebody else went and swooped in and got it. So
got you.
But it's houseofFlymusic.com. And that'll be up within the next about 2 months. I'll have that finished. Okay. We got a photo shoot to knock out, and I'll add the finishing touches to it.
Got you.
But yeah.
And then in terms of where they can find your music,
everywhere.
You can just Google House of Fly, anything House of Fly, HOUSE, of Fly, FLY,
yep.
House of Fly.
House of Fly.
That's where you can find the music at.
Yep. On every streaming platform.
Yeah.
I guess the latest one that we had dropped was Alice, which is Taja's song.
Okay.
Featuring my cousin Priest.
Right. Oh, and also you couple videos as well. I remember doing. I think Alice was the one we did the video.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah. I was in the video. I was actually featured in the video. No, I wasn't featured at all. I played a little role. I did a little cameo.
He was at my tea party.
I was there. I was in the video for sure. But yeah, you can YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get music, you can get House of Fly music. Yeah. Download it, purchase it, share it.
And then 2023 is when we're gonna release our plan to release our bigger project. This will be a dual disc.
They don't do dual disc no more. They don't do those no more.
Well, it's kind of different because you don't have physicals.
Yeah,
so you'll get the.
Because Chris Brown tried to do a little bit. It ain't really. It wasn't hot. Like a lot of people aren't really feeling it, but y'all gonna feel this. All right, y'all gonna download this morning. Y'all
it's definitely gonna be the soundtrack to your life. If you're on the trajectory of becoming your best version of yourself.
Yes, and that's what we all on, man.
Yeah.
That's what we all trying to be. Thank y'all so much.
No, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. We love you. We're gonna continue to support. It's been another episode, y'all. Street Academy Podcast, where we keep one foot in the academy and one foot in the streets. And we out.
That you know got their feet upon the neck of the haters, the game and the devil like came